The great thing about, you talked about Max Payne, which, we kind of took a swing with that one years ago, and I love the edgy character. Uncharted, obviously, is so cinematic, and it's great storytelling, and it's perfect for an adaptation. Sitting in a hotel room with glass windows and seeing the beach in Barcelona and the boardwalk and all that stuff was really enticing.
My family has been looking for this fortune for a very long time.
Toby I've obviously known since I was very young, but Tom I would have to say is my favorite because, he's my little brother. Hey kid, a little young for a bartender, aren't you?
A little old for prom, aren't you?
So, I mean, this film is obviously a video game adaptation, and I have to ask you, because this is not your first video game adaptation. You've done Max Payne before, and you're a parent yourself, so I have to ask you this. How do you see video games? Do you see them as being useful for children, or do you see them as needless distractions?
You know what? It really depends. I think there is a time and a place for everything. So during the pandemic, my kids were going to school via Zoom, and they weren't allowed to really go out and see their friends. We were quarantined. So it was useful then to allow them to play games, but also it became a big thing when we try to peel it away from them when they were able to go back to school and stuff like that. They did have a bit of withdrawal. But the great thing about, you talked about Max Payne, which, we kind of took a swing with that one years ago, and I love the edgy character. Uncharted, obviously, is so cinematic, and it's great storytelling, and it's perfect for an adaptation because of its cinematic appeal.
Who the hell is this? I'm a friend of Sully's.
Sully doesn't have any friends. I should know him. One of them.
And it's also, really appealing to people who aren't necessarily fans of the game. So you don't need to have played the game to really enjoy this film, which is great.
Right. And the list of locations this film seems to be set in includes, if I'm right, Manhattan, Barcelona, Paris, Rome, Agra even, and Singapore. Don't let the fact that you are speaking to an Indian influence your choice, but which was your favorite?
For me, I would probably say Barcelona, but it was bittersweet because everywhere we were, we still weren't really able to go and enjoy and experience the city because we were making the film during the pandemic. So, sitting in a hotel room with glass windows and seeing the beach in Barcelona and the boardwalk and all that stuff was really enticing, but we couldn't go and enjoy and experience it.
The film, I understand, endured a lot of delays. You've aged into the role of a mentor figure from playing the protagonist.
Everything in here. Why the map?
This is the path that Ferdinand Magellan took to sail around the world.
You know your history.
It's the biggest treasure that's never been found.
5 billion, easy.
So do you think this delay benefited the film or affected it?
I think it definitely benefited. I mean, there's pros and cons, right? So if you were a big Uncharted fan early on, and then maybe you kind of drifted away from that and into different interests, but I think to go into this series, the most important thing was actually getting it right. And I think they did by kind of making everybody a little bit younger, and then we can kind of have a little creative liberty, and then going into all the stories that people really know and love for the game. So, but we want to satisfy the diehard gamers, but we also want to introduce a whole new audience to the Uncharted world.
Right, and this film is obviously built on a lot of stunts and stunt choreography. I saw the trailer as well. You're doing a lot of action sequences. Do you enjoy doing stunts, or do you see them as something rather unenjoyable that you just need to do?
Yeah, at this day and age, it's a bit of a burden, a lot of bumps and bruises. I've done it for 30 years, so I was happy that as Sully, I didn't have to do as much physical work as Nate did.
I'm pretty sure he just threatened to kill me. Oh, this is gonna suck!
Don't get caught.
You were just gonna leave me back there.
Somebody had to get the cross. I was mostly the one kind of barking orders, and I would convince him to do all of the heavy lifting and the dirty work for me. And that meant him hanging off the side of the helicopter while I was in the cockpit, just, telling him what to do.
Right. As a final question, you're acting with Tom Holland in this film, and he's obviously well known for playing the role of SpiderMan. Do you have any favorites when it comes to the actors who played SpiderMan? And maybe you can also talk to me about Tom Holland's reputation for giving away spoilers and whether you had to protect him from doing that in conversations.
Yeah, he only did that with Spider-Man. He didn't do that with Uncharted, which was good. Obviously, Tobey Maguire and I have been friendly for quite some time. But, you know, I also thought that, you know, the first Spider-Man that I saw with Tom in, I thought that he did a really good job. And, you know, it's also, you know, the property evolves, people, you know, different filmmakers and stuff like that. But, you know, Tobey I've obviously known since I was very young. But Tom, I would have to say, is my favorite because, you know, he's my little brother and that's my my co-star. So I gotta support him.
How lovely. And the warmth of this companionship also shows in the promo videos that I've seen so far.
Both you turn your keys clockwise at the same time.
Thanks a lot. You almost got me killed. Clockwise, Sully. Well, it was 50-50, so I made a guess.
Clearly.
So that's fantastic.
Chemistry is amazing.
Great. I wish you guys all the best with this film and I look forward to catching it. Thank you so much for this conversation.
Thank you. Get a good night's rest.